So on November 30th, I think picking up from what you guys have been doing so far, on November 30th, 10 days back approximately, I danced my heart out. And anyone who's known me so far could never say that I moved a single leg because I never did. And all I would do is sit in the corner, look at everybody else dance, and just clap for them. And with a couple of exceptions, I'm sure a lot of you would have gone through that. When your parents would have put in your dance classes, you wanted, you didn't want, didn't matter anymore. Or a couple of exceptions with school performances, when you're dancing in the bunch, not to be seen. So this is how what my dance journey was. But what was so special 10 days back that I had to dance, that made me dance? It was nothing extraordinary. It was just my solar geyser that stopped functioning, and I had some people who came to fix it. And it wasn't about the people, it wasn't about the situation. It was about the feeling. I felt so loved. I felt so loved deep in my heart that I really danced that day. Now, as a child, right, when we were all children, love came naturally to us. We would smile at everyone, we would laugh at everyone, we would welcome everyone. There was no differentiation between age, gender, caste, social status, or anything just at all. Love was something that just came so naturally. Children's hearts are full of love. Their eyes sparkle with love. Their eyes light up with love, and they want to love everybody, they want to hug everybody, they want to play with everybody. It's just so normal to them. The only times children cry are when they are hungry, sleepy, or dirty. And they really know how to get their needs met. They will just cry, and they know they'll be fully supported with love and care. And they're really masters at knowing how to get all that sorted. Now, everything except love gets learned later. As we grow, we learn hatred, we learn jealousy, we learn competition, we learn comparison, we learn guilt, we learn shame, and a lot of such things that don't really serve us very well in our lives. And there are different paradigms that we build of the world based on our family's perspectives, our friends' perspectives, based on anybody's perspectives we've met so far. And when all of this kind of summarizes to us building a world paradigm, which is what the world looks like, what the world feels like, and how do we curate our life according to that. And one particular situation could look so different to different people at different times, from different era and different mind space, heart space. So, let's understand with this thing with the example of a superstition. You all know about cat crossing the road is considered a bad omen. Where is this coming from? This is coming from the time and era when there was no electricity, and people had to cross jungles in order to get from one place to another. And in doing that, if any time a cat crossed, they knew there could be a possible danger lying ahead of them. And they would choose to halt and move when it felt safer to make a move. Now, this brings me to bring a question to all of you. Anything and everything that you believe, does that still hold relevant? Is that valid? Or is that true? So that's a question we get to ask ourselves. And of course, the answer is very individual. And likewise, when I ventured out as a young girl, there were so many paradigms. What a girl should be like, how should she behave, what's right for her, what's not right for her. And gratefully, I was born to a brave mother who had the courage to walk out of her abusive marriage. And that kind of set the tone right for me in becoming an independent woman. I just always knew how to support myself financially. However, in other areas, emotionally, mentally, physically, I just could not place it anymore. And that led me to either avoid my emotions, or that led me to depend on my then husband on it. And in all of this, I was a so-called independent woman who did not have her own identity, who did not have her own thoughts or beliefs. All that came was from her spouse. Whatever his behaviors, his beliefs, his practices were, it was a reflection of that. The only thing that I became in 10 years of my marriage was a reflection of my spouse. And And I would generally call myself strong and then say, no, I am a girl who can get this all done. But frankly, I was avoiding a lot of stuff which showed up later. And since the independence, independence that I learned was restricted to finances. It was very difficult to find a balance in emotional, mental, physical aspects of life. And this entire period of my life marked a gradual decline in me mentally, physically, emotionally, and eventually financially. This became my breaking point. And as I look back, it also became my golden opportunity to rise from the ashes. Because there was nothing left to lose, it was only and only to gain. When we talk about educating men and women, we talk about knowledge, we talk about literacy, but we're missing a big piece out here. We're really missing the piece of the wisdom to lead a happy and fulfilling life. And at the age of 35, I found myself absolutely lost, and I started the quest for finding the meaning of life and the purpose of my life and my existence. And believe me or not, but that led me to love. The love we all have here as a child. Ever observed a child look at themselves in the mirror? They are in awe of themselves. They just love themselves. And you'll find that expression called, oh my God, I'm a miracle. It's just unbelievable who I am, right? That's my son, 10 years back. Precisely 9 years back. So, and I kind of feel this so captures the essence of what I'm saying right now. So that's love. Love for self. They just so love themselves. Where does this love begin? Right in our hearts. And the amazing part about this is that our heart, believe it or not, how much ever somebody would have told you your heart's telling you bullshit, but heart's the bravest organ we've got in our body, the bravest organ. And our heart is the first organ that got formed when we were embryos. And heart is the organ that goes the last from this world. So heart indeed, it is a brave heart. And we are made of love before we are made of flesh and bone. Joining the dots, when I say I rose from the ashes, I rose into love, like a newborn. And self-love marked the basis for everything beautiful that turned out in my life, including the people sitting here accompanying me today. And also, me living my best life and making way for my children to live their best life. What exactly did I do? What is self-love? Well, self-love began by forgiving myself. The first person who hurt me was me, by not following my heart, by not listening to my heart. While my heart always knew what was inside it and what was the right thing to do, I allowed the opinions of others to take over that. So I forgave myself. I established some amazing boundaries. Healthy boundaries in relationships, knowing what I would take and what I wouldn't, at any cost. Making sure they were communicated to everybody who was involved. And trust me, anybody who loves you will love your boundaries, will respect your boundaries. Another thing that comes with boundaries is also, and that's very respective to relationships, is when to say yes and when to say no. A lot of times we end up saying yes because we feel an obligation. We feel that we must do this because either we love them, they love us, and all sorts of stories we tell ourselves. But frankly, when we're sticking to our heart, we just need to know when we are ready to say that yes, and when are we ready to say that no. No, maybe today I will not go for that movie. Maybe today I will not babysit you. Maybe today I'll take care of my needs. So anything but just knowing when to say yes and when to say no. No more making decisions to please anybody. No more pleasing, just no more pleasing, be it anybody. Making decisions from the place of knowing what feels right in my heart, what feels good in my heart. Because that's the organ that's going to stay with me till the end, right? So letting go of anything or anybody who wasn't adding to my life or probably was just taking away so many parts of me. And trusting my intuition. Trust me, guys, your intuition knows it. We just love to ignore it. Each time there is a voice inside of you that will tell you, don't do that. Don't go there. And it's a very beautiful voice. It will not be the voice, oh, you can't do this. You are crap. No, not that. The one that just says, oh, maybe next time, very softly, and we tend to ignore that. So yes, I started trusting my intuition from the biggest to smallest decision. A simple example would be my attire for the day was very different. At 10 o'clock at night, something in me rose and I changed the attire. And it was crazy. I was up till 1 o'clock out of excitement just because I had changed my attire. I was so happy because in my heart I was feeling so amazing. I stopped judging myself for my looks, for my income, for my relationship status, for anything, for social status, maybe for my limitations or anything. I just stopped judging. Renewing my worldview to be a very expansive view and knowing that this world is kind, this world is loving. You know, there's so much media and stuff that talks about the world is cruel, people are killing each other. But frankly, today all I see is love. Really all I see is love. From the watchman of my building to the dogs in my house, all I see is love. And when you do that, when you get into when you welcome love in your life, your beliefs about yourself, about your life, about your capabilities, and your possibilities will change because you are unlimited. And that's how many possibilities you have out there, unlimited. And you know, our feelings are messengers. Ever thought about it? Our feelings tell us what's right for us and what's not, and how are we feeling? Are we good to go with it? Are we not? So listening to my heart and knowing what my feelings were telling me, and acknowledging them, not ignoring them anymore. I stopped seeking outside validation. Did I look good? Till the time I looked good to me, it didn't matter anymore if I looked good to anybody else or not. And I provided that validation to myself. If somebody thinks my attire for the day is crap, that might be just their perspective, but today I feel good and I feel beautiful, that's it. It serves me. Because I present that energy to you right here. What I bring in my heart is out here with you. Expressing my needs and knowing that when I deserve each of my needs to be met. Anybody who's told you that your needs are irrelevant or your needs are just not needed or you're too needy, you're too pushy and stuff like that, no, your needs are your needs. They need to be fulfilled. Just like that child, you can't tell them, oh my God, you've pooped so many times. Oh my God, you eat so much. Oh my God, you don't tell them that, right? You're still that little child inside of you. Your needs deserve to be met. Accept them being met with love and care every single time. And express them. Please express them. To yourself and to everybody else who matters in your life. Keeping the company of people who were good for me. And how do I decide that? Anybody who wanted to grow, who wanted to evolve, who wanted to become a new person, is a good place to be in. And somebody who was in the stuck circles, didn't want to change, just wanted to stay where they were, leaving them. Taking help. Trust me, guys. Everybody, all of us have been told, no taking help, do your stuff yourself, get your shit together, stuff like that. No, none of us are meant to do that. If that was the case, we would be the farmer, we would be the guard, we would be the cleaner, we would be the bearer, we would be going to office, we'd be rearing children all by ourselves, not the second person needed. Love for self is a birthright. There's no failing. There's just no failing. Whatever mark somebody wants to put out there, there's no failing in self-love. There's only winning. Because everything then becomes a journey of learning and growing. And there are no limitations to what we can do. There's no limitation to who you can be. There are no limitations to what life you can create. When we love ourselves, we thrive. And that's what I had today for you. A little something. Will you guys join me? Yes? Cool, I like that one too. All right. Put your left hand forward. Put your right hand forward. Move your right hand here. Move your left hand here. And just squeeze yourself. Say, I love you, dear. Say that. I want to hear you guys say that. I love you, dear. Thank you. And that was it today. Thank you.